cyber insurance started off quite a few years ago as just a quick little rider. Cyber insurance companies were like, hey, for an extra $20, would you like to have some cyber insurance? And people were like, of course, sure. It's only $20. How much coverage? Oh, about $100K. You're great. Then people started getting hacked.
Hi, I'm Eric.
I'm Mike.
Welcome to Cyber Sitrep.
Yeah!
Woo! We got it that time.
We got it together. It's crazy.
How many tries?
Oh, every try.
Too many. Well, welcome everybody. What's our topic today, Mike?
Well, today we're going to talk about cyber insurance and is it worth the cost? And should we have it? And what the heck is it? And
darn insurance.
Yeah. So cyber insurance started off quite a few years ago as just a quick little rider. Cyber insurance companies were like, hey, for an extra $20, would you like to have some cyber insurance? And people were like, of course, sure. It's only $20. How much coverage? Oh, about $100K. You're great. Then people started getting hacked.
Right. You know, Mike, and that wasn't that long ago, right? That started coming out. And as we were prepping for this topic, I was going back through our historicals of when we first got cyber insurance and how it's evolved. And man, it's moved really quick.
It has.
You know, and that's why we're doing this sit rep with everybody, because the truth has probably moved from the last time you've looked at this, and you really need to make sure that you're on top of this.
Yeah, because cyber insurance, again, started out as a quick rider.
Yeah.
But now that people are being breached and hacked and cyber insurance companies had to, pay out, they've kind of strengthened their requirements in order to get cyber insurance. And they have different policies and different levels. So it's something for you to consider. And the first thing we were discussing is, do you have it? Do you even know if you have cyber insurance in the first place?
Right.
And is it just a rider, i.e. it's tacked on to your normal general liability? Right. Are we riding it?
Right. Is it buried in the small print?
Exactly. Or is it its own specific coverage? And when you look at that coverage, what does it go over? Is it just ransomware? Is it business loss? Is it, dealing with a loss of reputation? Those kind of things. And it's difficult to know in a big insurance policy.
Absolutely. Mike, you're right. To your point, what we've seen, the trend is that, originally the stuff was buried deep in the policy, right? And now we see separate, almost standalone policies, even if they're attached to your main insurance. And to your point, they're much more granular and specific about exactly what they will cover and what they will not cover. And that's the biggest thing I can, caution everybody on is double check your assumptions, because if you've had your insurance updated anytime in the past 18 to 24 months, you've probably been moved to that newer, more improved version of insurance that's much more punitive and restrictive of what it covers. So don't assume, double check, and save yourself a lot of pain.
And for those who are thinking, why do I need cyber insurance? I'm never going to be breached. Well, it can happen. And if it does happen, facts are over 60% of small businesses go out of business within 1 year after a breach. So it's expensive, and without the cyber insurance to help cover those costs,
all those hidden costs,
Yeah, it's all you that you have to deal with that.
Yeah, like you were saying, loss of reputation. What does it take to rebuild trust with your customers? Credit monitoring. If you had, sensitive data of who are customers that got compromised, right? The various states you do business in that have different cybersecurity protection laws that may make you do more things than you would do in your home state, for instance, right? All that stuff.
Letter, how many people have gotten that letter? I've lost your data, and we've given you a year of identity protection. Right. That's not free. That company had to pay for that.
That adds up, right?
Yeah.
And also forensics, especially if you have a legal burden of, you need to prosecute things in federal court. And I say federal because just about all these cases are going to go federal. What does it take to gather evidence, not do spoilage, things like that. You got to have really expensive and worth every penny cyber forensics people come in. And once again, every insurance company that has a policy has their team of folks that they reach out to that will fly them out to your organization and do triage, and that is not inexpensive. So
no, and not to disparage our folks in the insurance business, but do you think insurance businesses love to pay out claims?
No, I don't think they do.
I don't think they do.
I don't think they do. If we just look at current events on the news, we'll see lots of issues with payouts of insurance for
I like to
different
describe
reasons.
This as if you were, we all have car insurance. But if you get, a few too many drinks in you and hit a tree, the insurance company is going to go, I don't think we cover that.
Exactly.
You were at fault. You took a risk.
You did not do due care and due diligence, right?
Which goes right into cyber insurance.
Exactly.
If you're not doing everything you need to do, then they're going to find that loophole, which leads us to the questionnaire.
Yes, so the vetting questionnaires, right, Mike? That's the insurance company's way of, one, putting you on notice that these are the things they're going to look for, and two, it holds you accountable, right, legally, attesting to if you're doing all these things in the questionnaire, such as, do you have multi-factor authentication enabled? Do you have antivirus installed in your systems? We've seen a lot of different questionnaires for our customers, right, Mike? And
from 50 to 150 questions or more.
And some of these questions are so basic, you feel insulted. And some you look at and you're like, wow, that's a really in-depth technical question. I'm going to have to scratch my head a little bit. And that's from us being in the field, as long as we have taken a little bit of pause. So we can only imagine for our audience out there where you're at in your walk, and if you're going to understand everything in that questionnaire. And please, 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 don't guess, don't make assumptions on this, because literally, everybody, the questionnaire is the disqualifier the company's going to use. Once you ink it and sign it, it gets kept, it gets brought out, and if you ever have to use that insurance, they're going to fly the people out, they're going to get started on triage for you, but they're going to verify that you've met everything you said in that questionnaire. And if you don't, to Mike's point, that's when your claim suddenly gets denied or stopped in track. And
It's one of those, a simple one to miss. We do cyber awareness training
twice
a year, and you're like, okay, awesome. We say we're doing it. But the person who clicked the kitten that caused you to get ransomware, we look at the records, never took cyber awareness training. No record of them doing it.
Mike, I know you can't say who, but I know you've been through this before. Yes. So this is a real world scenario, everybody. Yes. This kind of stuff happens, and that's all it takes. So we're not saying, be paranoid. We're just saying, please do due diligence, do care, look through the questionnaire, answer to the best of your ability. And if you don't know, don't go. Reach out for support to somebody that knows how to answer those questions for you, because you're planning on that rainy day being covered, and if you don't do it properly, you may be grossly disappointed. So
exactly. So to kind of wrap her up,
let's wrap it up.
I'm thinking, please get cyber insurance to include your insurance. Like my company has GNL, cyber, and errors and emissions.
Right. Exactly.
So, you have to have that full range of coverage. It doesn't always have to be a lot, but know what your losses could be, so that way you can plan accordingly.
And not to sound crappy here on air, but if you go to your insurance broker and they don't really know what they're talking about with cybersecurity insurance, then look at somebody else. It's that important. Don't do the good old boy network and go, okay, well, they said I'm good, and they don't give you the data you need. It's your money, it's your reputation, it's your company on the line. Do the due diligence. If you need to find another vendor for that, for your cybersecurity insurance. It's not personal.
If they're saying for $20 I got you covered, you're not covered. Not anymore.
Not anymore. That is very true. Yeah. And then as just a final aside, besides hitting like and subscribing, if you like this content, if this is something that you need assistance with, please reach out to us out of band. We do this for a lot of our customers at a really affordable rate, and we make sure that you're completely covered.
Right. So follow, and we'll see you next time. And remember to get some cyber insurance.
Thank you, guys. Take care.